All right, I need everyone in your seats. Okay. Who thinks they know how to combine these to make it a positive?
Miss, can you choose me this time?
You've already shared. Let's do
No,
something shared.
I haven't shared this in the beginning of class.
Kaylee.
So I did insect, and I put a large, so across that insect is, insect, a large like cockroach that has smoked my bowls of milk is crawling across the kitchen.
Perfect. So basically what she did is she just took this whole part right here and stuck it in right here. The insect, comma, a large hairy-legged cockroach that has spied my bowl of oatmeal, comma, is crawling across the kitchen
That's
table.
what I was going to do.
That is a perfect example. Did anyone else do something different? Skylee.
A large hairy-legged cockroach that has spied my oatmeal is crawling around the kitchen.
Okay, so you did a large hairy-legged cockroach that has spied my oatmeal is crawling across the kitchen table. This is a correct sentence, but does it have an appositive? Nope. It does not. So in order to have an appositive, what would you need? What would you need to add in order to...
Could you take away the is?
Yeah, you have to.
A large hairy-legged cockroach that has spied my oatmeal crawling across the kitchen table. That wouldn't work either. You need to add something. Paige.
Quick question. How long is
A
whatever
positive.
it is? Yeah, be? How long does it have to be?
There's no rule. It could be really long, it could be really short. It just depends on what information you're adding.
Oh, I know.
Okay, those of you who are talking, please stop. Laura.
Could you make crawling crawl?
Yes, you could change crawling to crawled. Although that still isn't an appositive, but that's still an okay sentence. Yeah, Michaela. What was that?
A comma
Yes, where would you put the comma?
after oatmeal.
A large hairy-legged cockroach that has spied my bowl of oatmeal, comma, is crawling across the kitchen table. Yes, but you're still missing something. Axel.
Okay, so I did the large hairy-legged cockroach that has spied my bowl of oatmeal and is crawling across the kitchen table.
Good, so that's exactly the same as this. Which is good. But still not in the positive. Sarah?
You need to put a comma
After what one?
cockroach.
No, oatmeal.
A large,
Wait.
hairy-legged cockroach.
I think it's oatmeal.
No, I don't think
Let me give you a hint. What is being renamed here?
Oatmeal.
It's supposed to be it's supposed to have a noun and then something else that adds to the noun. Where's the first noun? April.
You need to have the insect.
Yes. So the insect is the first noun. And then a large hairy-legged cockroach is what's renaming it. Or you could say the large hairy-legged cockroach that has spied my bowl of oatmeal. That could all be renaming it. So this part is the appositive that's renaming, and the insect is the original noun. So that example that didn't have the insect in it is still a good sentence, but it has no appositive because there's no original noun being renamed. Does that make sense to everybody? So the sentence could just say, the insect is crawling across the kitchen table. That would be a good sentence. It could also say, a large hairy-legged cockroach is crawling across the table. That's also a complete sentence. But in order to have an appositive, you have to have both, because you have to have the first noun and the renaming part. And the renaming part is the appositive. April.
A way that like you could think about it that I just saw from this is since the positive is something extra, something that if you took it away, it's just the insect is crawling across the kitchen table. But if you didn't have the insect, it'd just be is crawling across the kitchen table.
Awesome, awesome. So in order to be in a positive, it has to be able to be taken out and still have the sentence make sense. So if we take this out, does that still make sense?
Yeah.
It does.
Thought.
It does. That totally makes sense. But if this was the whole sentence and we took it out, does that still make sense? No. So it's not in a positive. Even if it's a complete sentence, it's still not in a positive because a positives have to be removable. Okay, let's try another one. So combine these two sentences. The first one is, during the dinner conversation, Clifford spewed mashed potatoes like an erupting volcano. Then, the second sentence is, Clifford is the messiest eater at the table. So find a way to make this a positive and put it in there. Ready, write.
I broke it.
Take the second sentence, making a positive out of it, and put it in the first sentence. So in order for it to be positive, go right next to the thing that's being named. Take another minute or so and then we'll talk about what we got. All right, who thinks they know how to do it? Axel, go ahead.
Okay. During the dinner conversation, Clifford, the messiest eater at the table, spewed mashed potatoes like an erupting volcano.
Perfect. So what he did is he took this part, the messiest eater at the table, which is just another way of saying Clifford, right? It's just another description of Clifford. During the dinner conversation, Clifford, the messiest eater at the table, yes, comma, Clifford, comma, the messiest eater at the table, comma, spewed mashed potatoes like an erupting
volcano.
Perfect. Did anyone else do something different? April.
No, I didn't do anything different, but like if you were to do like apostrophes or something, it says during the dinner conversation, comma, Clifford. Would you have to put another comma or would you just put apostrophes?
Say it one more time, I don't quite get the
I mean,
question.
parentheses.
Oh,
Okay.
So you're saying since there's like
Like, 'cause
lots
you
of
have to put,
commas,
yeah, because like you have to put one before Clifford and like after Clifford. But if you put the parentheses or whatever, would you have to put a comma after Clifford?
yeah, so what you could do is, instead of putting lots of commas, because it gets confusing, is you could put dashes instead. So I'll show you. Come on, you need to stop. So you could put, during the dinner conversation, Clifford, the messiest eater at the table, spewed mashed potatoes like an erupting volcano. So you need to have punctuation on both ends, but if you think a lot of commas are confusing, then you can change it to a different type of punctuation. Yeah.
So I mean, like where you put the first dash, would you need a comma before there?
Yes. This one?
Yeah, that one, yeah.
You would.
No, like with the parentheses, you wouldn't, right?
Oh, like this?
Yeah.
No. So you need either a comma or a parenthesis, but you don't need both. Sorry, that took me a while to figure out what you were actually asking. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Did anyone else do something a little different? Some of my kids in the other classes did stuff like they would move this whole thing to the end, which is still correct. Clifford, the messiest eater at the table, spewed mashed potatoes like an erupting volcano during the dinner conversation. That works. Or some people put this at the front. The messiest eater at the table, Clifford, spewed mashed potatoes. Whoops. Yes, it could be. If you put another comma right here, then that could be the appositive instead. Or you could just put it like this and that, and then keep the first one as the appositive. The messiest eater at the table, Clifford spewed mashed potatoes like blah blah blah. That's a good point, Benny. If you put a comma after Clifford, then it switches places and he's the appositive. Hey.
So you need like a noun or a verb before the sentence you split? Before the
No. Okay, let's do one more. Actually, maybe two more. We'll see. After this. Jackson, what are you supposed to be doing? This? But what is this? Good. So combine these two sentences, making it so the second sentence is in a positive, and add it into the first sentence. Ready, go. Write it in your journals, everyone.